What's up, guys? I'm AUSSIE METALHEAD. I'm doing 150 classic albums by the end of the year. I'm also doing Patreon requests. This, funnily enough, isn't either because I'm doing new releases as well. And because just a few days ago I listened to Slater, knew nothing about her, just saw that she was on the front page of Album of the Year and was like, let's check it out. It's getting a bit of buzz. This one is getting also a bit of buzz, and it's in dance pop. The same way that Slater was like electronic pop sort of stuff. I don't really delve into that music that often, but I was absolutely blown away by it. I thought, why not try and repeat the same formula, jump into this album that I know nothing about. I kind of think the name of the artist is kind of fucking cool, like Fcukers, but a bit different, so a bit different. I don't know where they're from. I don't know if it's a girl, boy, non-binary person, if it's a group. I don't know fuck nothing about this. I'm going in as blind as anyone could possibly be because I've never heard of a track by them. I've never heard them mentioned or anything like that. I just thought, let's try and double dip in the same dance electro pop sort of lane and try and figure out if I can get another gem out of it because I absolutely adored the Slater album. So, yeah, let's check it out. Bit more low-key already. It's not clashy. Oh, it has a subgenre of electroclash, so I wouldn't be surprised if it comes in hard at some point.
Yo, run the beat back. I wanna hear that. Yo, run the beat back. I wanna hear that. No, don't drop it. Don't wanna see you slow down. Don't stop it. I wanna see you get down on the radio.
Ooh.
I wanna listen to the sound on the stereo. I wanna hear that sound on the radio. I wanna listen to the sound on the stereo. I wanna hear that.
This is nifty. It kind of reminds me of like some like the more low-key parts of Billie Eilish's tracks, like these little beats here. But they're vocally completely different.
Yo, run the beat back. I wanna hear that. No, don't drop it. Don't wanna see you slow down. Don't stop it. I wanna see you
I love her
get
voice.
down.
This is cheeky. I like it. The vocal like quality, like the production quality, is super high.
On the radio, I wanna listen to the sound on the stereo. I wanna hear that sound on the radio. I wanna listen to the sound on the stereo. I wanna hear that. Yo, run the beat back. I wanna hear that. Yo, run the beat back. I wanna hear that. Yo.
I love like just how intimate her voice is, like how the quality is just so high quality. It feels like cinema, like the vocal equivalent of like really good cinematography on like a fucking HBO show where there's just such nice fidelity in the vocals. Yeah, also her voice is very nice. That was a good first track to get into this artist. I have no idea about. I did click on while listening. I did click on the artist's name. There seems to be a guy and a girl, so I'm assuming the guy does the production, mixed with probably some input from the girl, obviously, and the vocals. If you haven't watched one of my videos before, I do ratings on the side. These are my first listens. I listen to these projects multiple times over before I post my reviews into my Discord, where you can chat to me. I'm always active in that. I also posted to Album of the Year, which says 600 written reviews. Actually, I have about 1,000. Before this channel, I basically listened to maybe 20 albums across my entire life, front to back. It meant that I hadn't heard any like Nevermind or anything like that. It also means that I haven't heard a bunch of stuff like I haven't heard any Kate Bush albums, or I haven't heard any Madonna albums, or I haven't heard any Bjork or whoever. And I started this channel because I wanted to delve into these classic albums for the first time because I absolutely love music. I just listened to specifically the only music that I listened to, which was some pop punk, some emo rap, and a shit ton of nu metal and metal. So like Bring Me the Horizon, Linkin Park, that sort of thing. I had about 100,000 minutes every single year on Spotify Wrapped, but it was just those artists. So I wanted to explore my horizons a bit more, which is funny because a lot of those artists aren't ones that like my parents or family listen to. They always wanted me to listen to a Nevermind, to a Pearl Jam, to Lady Gaga, that sort of thing, but I just never did. And I started this channel to do so. But yeah, on Album of the Year, you can see all my ratings. I've listened to about 1,200 albums now across the last year, and my average ratings are 6 out of 10. I solely think that's because I'm doing mostly Patreon requests. I do new releases here and there, but I'm mostly doing Patreon requests, which if you're on my Patreon, you get if you sub for $5, you get to request an album that's 50 minutes or less, or pick one classic album from the classic albums list. There's 260 albums I haven't heard before, and if you pick from that, then it doesn't matter how long it is. There's an $8 tier, which means you get to pick an album that's 90 minutes or less, or 2 classic albums. And because I have about 150 subs over there now, which blows me the fuck away, but thank you so much. But because of that, I can't really listen to anything that's outside of new releases and Patreon requests because I feel guilty. But that means that they usually pick albums that I enjoy. Like, they will pick a classic by, I don't know, fucking Bruce Springsteen or something like that, and I'm gonna like that. So my average is a 6. I think spiritually it's a 5, because if something's a 5.1, I think it's above average. Saying all of that to basically get to the point, I think this is a good track. I think it's a very good track, like solid 7. I'm very curious to get into it. I love the fidelity in her vocals. The beat is interesting because I looked at dance pop and I looked at like some electro clash subgenres on this, so I thought it was going to be a bit more abrasive like Slater, but it's not. But it doesn't. Won't affect my feelings on the album because I like how well it's produced, and it gives me, it's like the closest I can kind of give it to mixture wise is it reminds me a bit of like Oclau stuff or OK Lou something. Someone says I say it wrong. I say Oclau. It's like Oclau mixed with like Rochelle Jordan or something like that. Makes me wonder if there's a bit of a UK European vibe to this, and the artists. But yeah, let's jump into it.
L-U-C-K-Y, I'm lucky. Y-O-U-R, mine, cause I'm lucky.
I love her vocals.
L-U-C-K-Y, I'm lucky. Y-O-U-R, mine, cause I'm lucky.
Ooh. Like, a bit like Pink Panther-ish as well. I like how it's building. I wonder how it's gonna crash. Ooh. Ooh. The electronic elements are a bit funky. That's a cool effect. The directional sound, the production is really nice as well. Like the way they're incorporating directional sound, making it feel so textured. This is funky as fuck. I like it. It just makes me, like, listening to this just makes me realize that over the course of, like, 2025 and 2026, the sole artists that are holding up the entire music ecosystem are women in fucking electropop sort of shit. Like, okay, Clow, FK Twigs, Underscores, Jane Remover, Slater, Fcukers here. Like, all of these albums, there's even more that I'm blanking on, but like they're just clearly the best ones. And then especially considering like pop music at the moment, if you like look at the charts and stuff like that, they have this polish or sheen to it, but it's not like this cinematic sort of sound that all of these artists are dabbling in. Pink Panther is another one, I guess, who's even more mainstream. Like, there's a cleanness that mutes a lot of the textures for popular music, I feel. Where if we go to Pink Pantherist, if we go here, Oclau, FK Twigs, there's so much, it's richer. It's not, but it's still pop music. And it's so weird that, like, there is clearly a massive output of amazing pop music at the moment, but it's not the stuff that's getting us popular. Where, like, if we look, I guess, back, Lady Gaga's sick as fuck. Shit sounds gas as fuck. If like you have like Teenage Dream, all that sort of stuff, like even just like a decade ago, you could even go to like mid 2010s and you'd probably find some really sick shit like that I can't be like remind myself of. But yeah, this is a great track, just really great track. And it just shows that like women are straight up just carrying music at the moment, because the old guard rapper wise, like Young Thug and all of that, 21 Savage, they're just making dog shit. If we go to like the most popular music, it's like streaming slop country with like Morgan Wallen and shit like that. And what else is that? Like, I guess it's like the Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, their records weren't the best, but they're still the biggest things on the planet. It's just, we have a massive shortage, but it seems like just anyone in like the dance pop, electro pop sort of lane are kind of, that's where all of like the really cool, very well produced tracks are coming from, and it's just so fun to listen to as well, which is just makes it even a bonus. Like Adele is like the most exciting thing for me that came out of last year, and she's definitely more in like the electro sort of lane. The tone of her voice here is so nice. Sounds so pretty. This is stunning. Ooh. Like, this might be my favorite track. I like the funky energy of the last track, but I don't know. It's so weird because I don't have much of a basis when it comes to like pop music, because I haven't heard Kate Bush's, I haven't heard Madonna's, I haven't heard all of that. So with other music, like I now have a bit more of a taste where I can like reference other things and explain myself a bit better. With this one, it just fucking sounds nice. I wish I could say more than that, but
Say you wanna party, come over to my house. There's no I like my body, no you can't live without. Say you wanna party, come
There's a bit of like, I guess, like a literal Rigo-ish voice. Like where there's like the youthful sound.
They don't wanna party. They don't wanna party.
I'm not a massive fan of like the way it repeats itself here, but
Say you wanna party, come over to my house. There's no I like my body.
still pretty good.
that you can live without. Say you
Well, I
wanna
like this
party,
part.
come over to my house. There's no I like my body that you can live without. Say you wanna party, come over to my house. There's no I like my body that you can live without. Say you wanna party, come over to my house. There's no I like my body that you can live without. Say you wanna party, come over to my house. There's no I like my body that you can live without. Say you wanna party, come over to my house. There's no I like my body that you can live without. Say you wanna. They don't wanna party. They don't wanna party. They don't wanna party. They don't wanna party.
I think weirdly enough, like it might be what I'm about to say might be a bit long-winded, so bear with me. But I think also another aspect of why I'm really enjoying music like this album, Adela, that's and a lot of like electropop sort of lane is there's a lot of when we look at like mainstream popular music and that sort of thing. I think I don't actually have any negatives towards trap music or anything like that. Just viewing it more through the lens of like hip hop as a whole. Like hip hop was a very radical art form with how it spoke truth to power, that sort of thing, and it lends itself towards that because it's just poetry and written word, and there's a lot more lyrics, so there's a lot more pointed critique that you can have, and it meant that it was a bit more radical and a bit more punky in ethos rather than like aesthetic to me. And I really love punk music. I really love like the angsty, just like you have a lot of built up emotions and you're using these ways to let it out, and basically using like art and music as a platform to be able to make change or change culture in a way to be more inclusive or whatever the fuck you want. And I really love that underpinning when it came to rap, when it came to metal, when it came to rock, that sort of thing. With the rise of like trap music and vibes music mostly, you get less of that. And it's really hard to point towards rappers that actually like talk about modern times. Like if you go to the 90s, you can find every single rapper will mention like Clinton or Bush or mention the wars going on or depression or something like that. Even if you go to like normal popular music, when it came to like the 80s with Bruce Springsteen, massive artist, he has Born in the USA. And then if you go to his like deeper cuts, which I just listened to, like I guess like The River, it's like the 5th album I've listened to from him, he's more pointed with the way he like talks about the world around him. And when I look at like popular music landscape at the moment, like trap music doesn't really do that. A lot of rappers have kind of fallen to the wayside. Rock stars don't exist. There's Arctic Monkeys, maybe. I haven't heard their most recent albums. Maybe they have biting critique, but their biting critiques, I listened to their debut. Sounds like that's more biting critique. Where AM was then trying to don a cool aesthetic. It's mostly vibes, aesthetic based. If we go to, so like rock artists don't really exist. Imagine Dragons is very commercialized. So you don't have rock to be able to do it. Punk doesn't really exist. Metal is not that popular in the predominant culture. Rap is the most predominant artistry, but it doesn't really speak truth to power, have any punk aesthetics, or is radical in any way in a lot of regards at the moment. And when we go to pop music, I feel like that's the only place I can sort of find that, because you kind of have this world because of like the gender divides and shit like that, where you have guys thinking that every single girl is on OnlyFans and that they're all awful and they suck off Andrew Tate. Cringe, kill yourself sort of vibes to them. And then you have a lot of like TikTok sort of shit that is like increasingly sex negative and a bit regressive in that sort of sense. And there's not like a strong, like, I guess, like feminist foothold that feels like there's like a more like sex positive feminist sort of perspective, because a lot of feminism that I see is like a lot more like rad femme focused, but that's just like algorithms probably. And then on the male side, they're all just more sexist and more sexist to their algorithms as well. So like we're in a landscape where, funnily enough, a lot of like the free flowing nature of this music of like come out to the party, my body, all this sort of shit. If we go to Adele, the very abrasive style of her sexuality. When we go to Slater, her abrasive style of her sexuality actually feels punky. Like I think it's part of the reason why I have such an affinity towards this genre at the moment when I'm listening to new releases by these people, is it feels like genuinely the only part of music at the moment that feels progressive or feels, I don't know, a bit radical, a bit edgy. And I really like that. I think it's a reason why there's like a strong affinity I have towards this music, because it's like there has been such a massive, like, this doesn't even go too far into it, it's just Love My Body sort of shit, but like there's just such a massive wave of like policing women's bodies now, that when I, like, because I'm 25, when I was like 18, before COVID shit, before like COVID, I feel like fucked everything up because everyone's online, even more so now, and trapped in like TikTok algorithms and shit like that. But like before that, like it felt like you could be more free flowing with your sexuality as a girl, and you wouldn't get attacked as much. But maybe I'm just in like an online echo chamber when it comes to that. But it feels like there are people a lot more policed, especially in this more like conservative landscape of like Trump being elected and the rise of like One Nation in Australia. Or I'm sorry I'm getting so political on this fucking fun album. Anyway, but all of that sort of stuff. I guess I just wanted to explain how and why I love this sort of music, because it feels like a breath of fresh air in just showing like women can just have fun, go to parties, they're allowed to do whatever they want with their body and sexuality and stuff like that, which seems like something that has been stifled so much lately from my perspective, and it feels like a breath of fresh air. There we go. Sorry about how long-winded that was.
If you wanna pay me,
Ooh.
I wanna tell you now we're taking turns. Pay me, you can teach a dog down like that. Pay me, I wanna tell you now we're taking turns. If you wanna pay me, you can teach a dog down like that. I just wanna rock right now. Give it up now. I just wanna rock right now. Rock, 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 rock.
I love that sort of like sound.
You can teach a dog down like that. Play me. I wanna tell you now we're taking two. If you wanna play me, you can teach a dog down like that.
Ooh. I'll tell you this is good. Like, it might even be a 7.5. Like, good to great. I'll give it a good to great. It's so controlled and pretty. I like it. I like the hip hop sort of vibes as well. The little DJ scratches.
You want me, I know. You like it when I get low. And my gold tooth and the white tee. Make a girlfriend wanna fight me. See me dancing. They come up and say, shake it up, shake it up. You're the only one that I wanna. Shake it up, shake it up. You're the only one that I wanna. Shake it up. You're the only one that I wanna. He loved me.
Probably one of the weaker tracks for me, but
I think
it just doesn't have the same like groove or
and my blonde hair.
it's not as like
Nikes.
bouncy to me or like
And go
vibey
club
to
wanna
me.
fight me.
But it's still like well made.
See me dancing. They come up and say, shake it up.
Like the
shake it
micro
up. You're the only
details.
one that I wanna.
Really well
Shake it up.
recorded,
Shake it
produced.
up. You're the
Like,
only
I don't know,
one that I
metally,
wanna.
songwriting wise maybe. Not a massive fan.
Shake it up. You're the only one that I wanna.
Because it is well produced. I'll give it a 5. Like, I think like it's a bit weak in some areas, pretty good in other areas. Evens out. This seems to be the biggest track. Curious.
Tell you once, tell you again. Ease off. Let's do it like this again.
I like it like that. I like it like that. I like it like that. 'Cause I like it like that. 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 'Cause I like it like. I tell him at the beach at the bongo. I tell him beep beep 'cause I wanna go. I tell him at the beach at the bongo. I tell him beep beep 'cause I want it all. I like it like that. I like it like that. I like it like that. 'Cause I like it like that. 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 'Cause I like it like. I need your love, can I be that? I need on fire, can you be that? I need your love, can
I really do like the Y2K sort of retro vibes of it. Like going back to these sort of vibes, but having such immaculate production. It's like, damn, it's so nice. This is a great track.
I
Those horns are a bit memey.
I like it like that, 'cause I like it like that. I like it like that. I like it like that. I like it like that, 'cause I like it like that. I like it like that. I like it like that. I like it like that, 'cause I like it like that. I like it like that. I like it like
It could be like dropped to like 7.5 because of how repetitive it is. But I really do like the attitude of that voice.
Can it be that? But you don't find, can it be that? I need your love, can it be that? Cariño, te necesito.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7.5 because I think I like the other tracks kind of more. But this is a boppy track. I like it.
Say me love you till the world and sin in the wine. She load up me machine in the night. The trumpets them the song enough for life. When I talk for what we not divide. Say me love you till the world and sin in the wine. She load up me machine in the night.
Seen on your eye, think it was yesterday. Now you come around, thinking I'd do the same. You come up and say, you love me till the world ends. Why don't you just go? Why don't
This has more personality than Shake It Up, but I don't know if I like it more. Like at least it has like a vision that it's trying to go towards. But Shake It Up felt like it was meandering and like good production. This at least feels like it has a focus a bit more. But I don't know if I like the focus as much.
The trumpets them the song enough for life. When I talk for what we not divide.
think it was yesterday. Now you come around, thinking I'd do the same. You come up and say, you love me till the world ends. Why don't you just go? Why don't you tell it to your girlfriend? Why don't you tell it to your girlfriend?
I actually am. I'm conflicted on that one. I think I'll put it on the same level as Shake It Up for now.
I love you up but down. You know the hold you got. I love you up but down. You know the hold you got. I'll never
it's crazy how delicate the tracks are, but like the drums or like the beats, like they have so much punchy weight to them. It balances it quite well. I like it. Like another good to great track. Oh, this is interesting. I like the more like non-digital instrument sort of sounds. Sound, oh, that direction sound is so nice. Like the way it's going in the back. It's cool.
It's like the only thing we do is fight. It's not about you being wrong or right. Feels
Another like
the same
good to
thing
great track
every
in the
single
movie.
night. Alright. Can you feel it now? Are you getting what you came for?
I might even feel it great. I love her voice. I love the beat. The beat's very interesting. Well, it's a bit repetitive at the end there, so I might drop it to 7 up. Ooh. Ooh. This might be my favorite track. The vocals. I haven't heard any of the trip hop classics either. So I've never heard like Portishead, Ray of Life. So I'm very curious to delve into that. Massive effect. This is like great to amazing. I love this. This is such a nifty little project. And because 2026 has been quite weak for me year-wise, like music, as like a year of music, because 2025 was quite spectacular to me, but 2026 so far has been a bit choppy. This is a really welcomed addition. Like I've listened to maybe 30 albums from this year, and I feel like this would be like top 5 at the moment. I think it sneaks into the 5th spot. This is quite a nice project. I'm so glad that I checked it out. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, thank you. And if you want to support further, you can go to Patreon, request any albums, all that jazz. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Absolutely love you. Peace.